Hey, welcome back to D-Lab, everybody. This is another follow-up on that Dust Mite Ranger. I've done some more work to it, including rebuilding the audio section. Let me give you a little guided tour, and then you get to hear this thing modulate into a dummy load. All right, we'll start topside. There's not a whole lot to see here, but I'll just walk you through the things that I did. Removed the VFO side cover, replaced the 18K carbon resistor, also put in a fresh 6AU6 oscillator tube. I removed the Ice Cube relay push-to-talk system and installed the D-Lab K1, which goes in the place of the 6AX5 tube. I found that the audio driver tube was incorrect. They actually had two 12AX7s, supposed to be a 12AX7, and the driver was supposed to be a 12AU7. I also recapped the little keyer platform, cleaned the pot, and adjusted the keyer for proper operation. Alright, let's go bottom side. So let's start up here. You see I have two new high voltage filter caps. So these are a pair of 22 microfarad at 450 volts, and they have 470K balancing resistors across them. Also removed the voltage divider network that was in there for the old push-to-talk system. So that kind of cleans this area up nicely. Go down here into the audio section. I changed out all the capacitors. There's no paper caps left in this Ranger. Got a new 47 microfarad filter cap, and if you look right here, you'll see that I have a different interstage transformer. The one that was in this Ranger was incorrect. It was a multi-tap transformer. I don't know who made it, but it wasn't right, so it came out. And I replaced that with the Hammond 124B. And if you look over here, you can see this cap. This is a capacitor that goes across the modulation transformer output leads. Normally it's a 0.02 microfarad. I replaced that with a 0047 at 1600 volts. Okay, test time. I have my National 300 warmed up and ready to hear the Ranger. We're going to put the chassis back into the cabinet. I find that if you test these transmitters out of the cabinet, you'll hear some funny buzzing in your receiver and you'll think there's something wrong. Okay, so I'll get it in the cabinet, get her warmed up. I have a dummy load ready, and we'll see what the Ranger sounds like. Okay, here's the test setup, guys. I got the NC300 in the background, only using a 1.5 foot piece of wire for an antenna. We're on the 40 meter band, around 7.2 megahertz. The Ranger is going to transmit into the Palstar dummy load, and believe me, there's plenty of sensitivity for this test. You can actually hear the spot from my VFO on the NC300. Alright, let's key it up and listen to her. Always got feedback, but there she is, guys. The Ranger modulating. You can watch the watt meter there. She's got all kinds of forward modulation. This is a really good working Ranger. I'm pretty impressed. Alright, so if we close up on the metering, there's my grid, plate, there's my modulation rest current. Remember before it was extremely high, that was due to bad caps in the audio section. All kinds of modulation. Man, this thing is crystal clear. Alright guys, well that's a wrap for the Dusty Ranger. After a good cleanup and some TLC, this radio sprang back to life, and man is it a great performing Ranger. Probably some of that is due to the fact that it was a factory built unit. And because it's such a great Ranger, I'm going to go ahead and get this cabinet shell repainted. But I'm going to leave the front panel as is. It's acceptable, and it shows the character of the life that this Ranger has lived. Next step, get it in the hands of a ham radio operator that will love this thing and put her back on AM.